One of the most revered eras in R&B is the 90s. While the early 90s was dominated by the sound of New Jack Swing, by the mid-90s, hip-hop and R&B began to find its way onto the charts with the emergence of Mary J. Blige and many others. The mid-90s provided us with some of the best R&B music ever recorded, timeless classics for female groups and solo artists that have stood the test of time. While others have faded from the scene, their music still lives on. Follow me as we take a trip back and rediscover some of the most memorable ladies of R&B from the mid-90s.
You're watching it live from Times Square, the crossroads of the world, in 10 seconds. We'll wish you a little early Happy New Year. Thanks ever so much for making us a part of your party. It is now 1992. Happy New Year!
To get to where you're going, sometimes you gotta look back at where you came from. In 1992, brought some memorable R&B for the ladies. Mary J. Blige released her debut album, What's the 411? Jay released a massive single with their 1992 smash hit, Don't Walk Away. TLC released their debut album, Ooh, on a TLC tip. But there was another female group coming from New York City that was ready to solidify their spot in the music industry. Coco, Taj, and Lily. They are sisters with voices, better known as SWV.
The S, the double, the U, and the V is in the house.
Lily, Coco, and Taj. R&B hip hop, the little pop feel to it.
When Lily wanted to do a girl group, she saw Shanice and she was like, "Oh, we can do that. We can do that." So she reached out to Coco, and Coco reached out to me.
When we first got together, we had a couple of names before we settled on SWV.
Sisters of Voices with Four Shades of
Four
Rhythm.
Shades of
Four Shades of
Rhythm.
Rhythm. We were TLC.
TLC.
To Marilyn and Cheryl.
Yes, and then we finally settled on Sisters with
SWV,
Voices, aka SWV.
In 1992, SWV released their debut single, Right Here. The song quickly became a hit and climbed to number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 while reaching number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart.
It caught us by surprise. We thought it would be gradual, but like it started, we took a nap and it was gone.
We went on a promo tour and couldn't go home because we had blown up just like that fast.
But the song record's impact grew even larger once the group released the remix, which sampled Michael Jackson's Human Nature. And it also sampled a little-known producer at the time, who goes by the name of Pharrell Williams.
Lately, there seems to be some insecurities about the way I feel, where I wanna be. Boy, I know it with you. No one can do the things you do to me.
He was like, I think he was 20, 21. He was a baby. He was a baby. Matter of fact, we teased him the whole time. You too young. Shut up. Oh, you don't know. Shut up. You a baby. But did a great song. He did a great song, and he took a chance on me singing that bridge. He allowed me to do that bridge, and also in the remix, that's him saying SWV. It was a part of a rhyme. He was actually supposed to rap on that song, and I think it might be on YouTube if you look for it. Right here, Human Nature remix. He's actually rapping, but they just took that little part and put him on there.
October of 1992, the group released their debut album, It's About Time. Fueled by the songs Weak, I'm So Into You, and Downtown. The album exploded commercially, reaching number 8 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the top R&B albums chart. The year 1993 brought us the inauguration of President Bill Clinton. Michael Jordan shocked the sports world with the announcement of his retirement from the NBA. The Bodyguard dominated movie box offices and Billboard charts, with leading actress Whitney Houston in the 1993 smash hit, I Will Always Love You. As hip-hop and R&B were beginning to merge into a smoother, more soulful sound, 2 young women attending college in Philadelphia were unknowingly preparing to create one of the most recognizable duos of the decade, Gene Norris and Renee Neufeld. They go by the name of Zhané.
First, Renee and I were like best friends. We went to college together in Philly at Temple, and that's where we met. We started singing together there. Gosh, so much stuff. We started there even singing in talent shows, weddings, things like that.
Zhané which is actually both of their names combined together, Gene and Renee, with a Z and an H for a little pizzazz, eventually caught the attention of Philadelphia native DJ Jazzy Jeff, who helped introduce her to the music industry. Soon after, they connected with DJ KG, producer of Naughty by Nature.
Now, Zhané is something different, you know, because I started, before I even had Devon Mill, I had Illtown Records.
Yeah.
And Zhané was the first artist that I actually put out, which was R&B, you know, and it was different, you know, coming from a hip hop background and being a hip hop artist, as well as a hip hop producer coming out as Naughty by Nature. The first artist that I, you know, spawned out to do and to produce and develop was Zhané, which was R&B.
That partnership would help shape the duo's signature sound and launch their career nationally. In July of 1993, Zhané released their debut single, Hey Mr. DJ.
Everybody, move your body, now do it. Here is something that's gonna make you move and groove. Hey DJ, keep playing that song on and on, all night, on and on and on.
The record became an instant hit, climbing to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reaching number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart. In September of 1994, Zhané released their debut album, pronounced Zhané, driven by hits like Sending My Love and Groove Thing. The album reached number 37 on the Billboard 200 and climbed to number 8 on the top R&B albums chart. The year of 1994, it brought us the start of the O.J. Simpson trials. Forrest Gump dominated movie box offices, and Nelson Mandela was inaugurated South Africa's first black president. The females of R&B was having a defining moment as well. In May of 1994, Aaliyah released her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, with her breakout single, Back and Forth. The group Changing Faces released their debut album with the breakout single, Stroke You Up. In August of 1994, the group Brownstone released their debut single, Past the Lovin'. But there was another solo artist who was ready to make her 1994 debut as well. She's known to some as the Vocal Bible. Her name is Miss Brandy Norwood, or simply Brandy.
It's coming to the stage right now, all the way from LA, California, 16-year-old sensation, Brandy!
I got system to say, baby, baby.
Yeah, I grew up in LA. I was originally born in Mississippi, though.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay. When did you know you wanted to sing?
When I was 4.
Oh, do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember when I first sang my first solo.
Where were you?
I was in church. I was 2 years old and I sang Yes, Jesus Loves Me.
Brandy grew up in a musical family, singing in church and performing at local talent shows, alongside her brother Ray J.
This is my brother Ray J, who played on Simba. He will be coming out very soon. Doesn't he look cute today?
Her vocal ability quickly caught attention in the Los Angeles music scene, through auditions and industry showcases, before being signed to Atlantic Records while she was still in her early teens. On September 6, 1994, Brandy released her debut single, I Wanna Be Down.
I would like to get to know if I could be the kind of girl that you could be down for. 'Cause when I look at you, I feel something tell me, yeah, that you're the kind of guy that I should make a move on.
The song became an instant success, reaching number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and climbing to number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart. The remix, featuring Queen Latifah, Yo-Yo, and MC Lyte, helped bridge the growing connection between hip-hop and R&B. And just weeks later, on September 27th, she released her self-titled debut album, Brandy, powered by hits like Baby, Broken Hearted, and Best Friend.
Who was your mentor?
Whitney Houston.
Yeah? And you knew from her that you wanted to do it?
Yes.
That's really great. Tell me about your new album.
Well, it's a R&B. It's a joyride. It's a really nice album. It was produced by Keith Crouch and some other producers.
Okay, well, that's really great. Well, we have you up here sitting looking pretty, and we're going to have you perform another song from your debut self-titled album.
'Cause I'm your sister, and always fair. And I don't know what I do without you from the beginning till the end. You've always been here. You'll always be. So I'll call you my best friend.
The album reached number 20 on the Billboard 200 and eventually sold millions of copies worldwide. It established Brandy as one of the leading young faces of 90s R&B.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 1995!
1995 is often remembered as the year of the Million Man March, which brought hundreds of thousands of black men to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Pixar's Toy Story was released as the first feature-length computer animated film. The internet went mainstream with the release of Windows 95 and the launch of sites like Amazon and eBay. And just like 1994, the ladies of R&B was still shaking the room. SWB was riding the wave of their club banger, Anything, featuring Wu-Tang Clan. Adina Howard released her infectious single, Freak Like Me. Brownstone released their major hit, If You Love Me. The First Lady of Bad Boy, Faith Evans, released her breakout single, Used to Love Me, followed by her critically acclaimed album, Faith. But there was another trio from the Bad Boy camp about to make some noise. Kima, Keisha, and Pam. They go by the name of Total.
I'm Kima. I'm Pam representing Keisha. Yo, where y'all all about? Where y'all from?
From Jersey, and our group name is Total. We signed to Bad Boy.
Alright, yo, in 94, what y'all gonna do for us?
Put more flavor in your ear.
We bringing mad flavor. I hear that. That's much love, you know what I'm saying? But what's up? What's your new single out?
We don't have a single out right now. We're in the studio right now.
Alright, yo, y'all got any shout-outs to say?
Just want to give a shout-out to our manager, Mama Sid, and Puff Daddy.
Alright.
The group formed in Plainfield, New Jersey, and began honing their harmonies and edgy image under the mentorship of Norman Bradley.
This is the man responsible for Total.
You already know, Kima.
He put us together, and we love him dearly for it. I don't know if we ever gave him the recognition he deserved, but Norm, you definitely set us on a journey that we're still on, and we thank you for it.
The man that wrote Just a Freak of Me, the songs that we sung when we got with Diddy, this man right here.
Eventually, they caught the attention of rising music executive Sean Puffy Combs and signed to his label, Bad Boy Records.
We happened to bump into a personal friend of Puffy's. Well, not bump into the guys that we were working with from the Bronx. They kept our number, and everybody, you know, still kept it cool and everything. And they called us and said, well, if you're looking for management, if you're still trying to sing, I have somebody that's, you know, that's from Mount Vernon and grew up with, you know, Heavy D and Pete Rock still flew, and she, you know, it's probably a good connection.
Right. We riding. Kathy was like, y'all gotta always be ready. Yeah. So she pulls up, she goes upstairs, she's like, I'll be right back. She comes downstairs and she was like, okay, I need y'all to make up a song and put Puffy's name in it. So he comes downstairs, he introduces himself, and then we just start singing, but we're performing.
Yeah.
We like
had him all backed up against the wall in the elevator. He was looking at us like,
he had his mouth open. He was like, so he was like, yo, y'all sound really good. He was like, yo, I just would encourage y'all to keep doing what y'all doing. You know, don't let nobody break y'all up. 2 o'clock that morning, he called Kathy. He was like, don't take them nowhere. I want to sign them.
A lot of people, when they become artists, they go through changes with changing themselves to make this certain image, but we're Total. That's who we've been before we met each other, during, while, and after, and basically Puffy just, you know, took what we had and enhanced it.
Hey, what was the first song that y'all did? What was the first one y'all recorded?
Well, we recorded songs that never went anywhere because we were just trying to find our sound, but Juicy.
Juicy, with Biggie.
Juicy was the first record y'all did.
Yeah. The story behind how we wound up recording Juicy is like, Big was like our little big brother. Like, we were close with Big. So we would frequently be in New York, hanging out in the studio with him. So he called us one day. He was like, come to the city. He was in the studio. So we went to the studio. And he was playing Juicy. Keisha started humming something. Biggie was like, y'all should go in there and put that down. So he, you know, just gave us some words or whatever. And we went in there and we put it down. And Puff had us come back
the next day and do the One More Chance song. So,
January 1995, Total made their official debut on the single Can't You See, featuring the notorious B.I.G. For the soundtrack to the film New Jersey Drive. The song became an instant street anthem, reaching number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and helping introduce Total to mainstream audiences nationwide.
To whom it may concern, Junior Mafia's the click. Act up, I have my home Total. Do your thing, girl.
In the middle of the pain now, baby, I seem to think of only you. Oh, yeah.
In January 1996, Total released their self-titled debut album, Total, fueled by hits like Kissing You, No One Else, and Do You Think About Us. The album reached number 23 on the Billboard 200 and climbed to number 4 on the R&B albums chart. Stay tuned for part 2 as we highlight some of the ladies of R&B who made noise during the second half of the decade of 90s R&B. One of the most revered eras in R&B is the 90s. The mid-90s provided us with some of the best R&B music ever recorded. Timeless classics from female groups and solo artists that have stood the test of time. While others have faded from the scene, their music still lives on. In part 1, we uncover some of the ladies that dominated the first half of the 90s. Now follow me as we take a trip to the second half of the 90s and rediscover some of the most memorable ladies of R&B from the mid-90s.
5, 4, 3, happy 1996!
The year 1996. We saw the inauguration of Bill Clinton for his second term as president of the United States of America. Michael Jordan's Space Jam was a blockbuster hit. The 1996 Summer Olympics descended upon the ATL. And as for the ladies of R&B, they continue to dominate radio, the dance floors, and the Billboard charts. Monica was still riding the wave of the release of her 1995 debut album, Miss Thing. Escape released a banger with this smash hit, Do You Want To? For the soundtrack to Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. SWV released a banger with the single, You're the One for Me. And there was a few ladies who made their debut in 1995, but their major breakout came in 1996. Started with a singer from Manhattan, with a voice and attitude that matched perfectly with the era. She goes by the name of Monifah.
I was doing reference vocals for Hev. He produced 2 songs for the group that I was in, DSOB, that included Free and 4 other young ladies, right? So Wendy Creedle, who's Andre's son's mom, started that group. So from there, I knew Hev socially, but working with him that's how I started working with him. So I called him. It was like December 23rd. I was like, yo, you never called me. I'm like, it's Christmas. I'm trying to get a couple dollars. And he was like, yo, oh my God, I've been meaning to call you. He's like, so he said, can you come in tomorrow? I was like, sure. So I went in there, did a reference vocal for this little kid that they were going to sign to Uptown. Did that record. He was like, you know what? You could keep the record. Like, I'm not going to give it away. So I'm like, oh, great. I got a demo or whatever. The next sentence out of his mouth was, we're going to start your album tomorrow.
Under Heavy D's guidance, Monifah signed with legendary Uptown Records, the same label that helped launch artists like Mary J. Blige. On October 17, 1995, Monifah released her debut single, I Miss You, Come Back Home, featuring Heavy D.
It's been 2 sleepless nights, 3 lonely days since I last saw you. Now things just ain't the same. Whatever happened to the promise that we made? You never leave me. I'll never leave you. Now you're gone.
The song gained urban success, followed by an edgy street remix featuring up-and-coming rapper AZ.
Baby, I've been tossing, turning all week long. From these lonely nights I'm spending, and I know I was wrong to let you go. Can't get you off my mind.
Your love's the reason why.
And on October 24th, 1995, she released her debut album, Moods and Moments, which reached number 42 on the Billboard 200 and number 6 on the top R&B albums chart. In 1996, Monifah released the single Touch It, which became her biggest hit to date, peaking at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and helping define the streetwise R&B sound of the era. As the mid-90s wave of teenage R&B stars continued to grow, another young singer from Yonkers by the way of South Carolina was preparing to enter the spotlight. Her name is Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa, that was smooth. You worked it out. Congratulations. All right, we got to know. The people want to know. The big break. How'd you get your big break? How'd you hook up with Island Records?
Well, Tim Dog of Island Records hooked it up for me. My mother is my manager, so somebody had sent him a demo and he liked what he heard. So about 2 weeks later, he got in contact with my mother, and I went down to Island Records, sung for him a cappella, His Eyes on a Sparrow, and about 3 weeks later, I was signed to Island.
And on May 30th, 1995, Mona released her debut single, Can't Be Wasting My Time, featuring the Lost Boys. From the soundtrack to the film Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. The song became a major hit, reaching number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning a strong rotation on urban radios. She also made an appearance on Lil' Kim's song Time to Shine, which was featured on the same soundtrack. Her debut album, 11/20/79, was released on June 18th, 1996, and reached number 38 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums chart, led by the single You Said.
Now, I know your album has been well received all over the country, but how did you personally feel when the album first started to come out?
Well, I was real excited being that this is my first album. I mean, I always dreamed of having my own album, and it was just like basically a dream coming true. God heard my prayers, and he made it happen for me. That's why I'm right here on Soul Train.
Yep.
So
how was it working on the album, and who are some of the people that helped you work on it?
A lot of people helped me work on it, like Tim Dog. He's the one that brought me over to Island. The whole Island family, Hiram Hicks, Montez Miller, Deborah Hill, just a lot of different producers, such as like Stevie J, who produced my current single, Just Wanna Please You, featuring The Lock.
I see that look in your eyes, it's making me weak. And every time that you smile, I can't even speak. Don't want these feelings to change. They'll always be true. I was forever with me and with you, but
Although her mainstream run was brief, Mona Lisa became part of the important teenage R&B movement that defined the mid-90s. By the mid-90s, R&B and hip-hop influenced production were beginning to reshape urban music. And out of New Jersey came a singer with a smooth voice and stylish delivery.
Now, Gina Thompson, give it up! Oh, yeah!
My God will make a way. Oh, you better believe it. He did it for me, and he'll do it for you.
So basically it started with me singing in the church, and I had two brothers at the time, one remaining, and he wanted to take me into a studio to see, how I would sound, doing solo stuff. My brother-in-law at the time and one of my cousins knew of Rodney Jerkins. So I rode to Rodney's house, and at that point I sang in his living room. And right off the gate when I sang, he was very, very interested in signing me to his company called Dark Child Productions.
Yeah.
We pre-recorded songs in the basement, and basically we really pre-recorded the whole album. And moving forward, we signed with Mercury, recorded the album in Manhattan, New York. So after, getting a few ears involved, the A&R and assistant A&R, and other people at the record company, the president and our CEO, everyone came to the conclusion of The Things You Do, but they wanted something that was popping more at that time. So what they did was they decided to talk to Puff, first talk to us and ask us how we feel about having Puffy do the remix. Puffy, of course, we agreed. Puffy heard it and wanted to jump right on it. And like I said, around that time, that sound was kind of out. So 112, myself, and Puffy, and Rodney, we collaborated, on more so myself and 112. We really collaborated on a melody, and they actually even had sang some backgrounds on that single. Then Missy heard the album and she definitely wanted to get on it. So she got on the record, and then it kind of went from there.
On May 14th, 1996, Gina Thompson released her debut single, The Things You Do.
Baby, 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 these feelings that I have, I can't explain, and I can't believe that it's you. The way you make me feel makes me happy. So why can't we just make it last?
The song became a breakout hit, reaching number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 and climbing to number 3 on the Billboard R&B chart. And just a few months later, in July 1996, she released her debut album, Nobody Does It Better. The album reached number 41 on the Billboard Hot 200 and introduced audiences to a new style and a female R&B that blended soulful vocals and cutting-edge hip-hop production. The summer of 1996, the ladies of R&B had the radio airways and dance floors rocking. And Missy Elliott's pen was on fire. She would score another hit that year with a trio out of Las Vegas, Nevada. They go by the name of 702.
Hey, ladies, how was you really together?
Thank you.
All right, now let me get your names and ages.
I'm Irish and I'm 16.
Okay.
Mila and I'm 18. And Misha and I'm also 18. But we're missing somebody. Missy?
Oh,
Missy.
Oh, Missy? Uh-oh. Now who's Missy?
Missy rapped on our song and she's also...
Hey, Missy. How you doing?
Writer? Yeah, she's a writer.
Now, I understand that y'all are from Las Vegas.
Right.
That's where you met.
Yeah.
And that is also the
Las Vegas
area code. Okay. Okay. Now, aside from Las Vegas, what was your original connection?
Well, me and Irish are sisters. That's the one in the end. And we met Mila at the Academy of Performing Arts in Vegas.
Okay, now how did you hook up with Viv 10 Records?
We ran into Michael Bivins at the Atlanta Marriott Jack the Rapper in '93. And that's where we met him. He liked this and we sung for him. And so
and here you are.
You're here.
You're here.
Before releasing their own music, 702 first appeared on this little game we played with the group Subway in 1994.
Yeah, boy, I really wanna stay and play that little game you play.
Come on.
But you go hide and let me seek
Get a E.
and let me be the one to make you weak.
But it wasn't until 1996 when they officially stepped into the spotlight. In that August, 702 released their debut single, entitled Steeler, featuring Missy Elliott.
I'm gonna keep it real. Keep it real. I can make me feel. Boy, you give me chills, baby. See, I'm gonna break it down. You just drive me wild whenever you're around.
The song quickly became a hit record. It reached number 32 on the Billboard Hot 100 and cracked the top 20 on the R&B charts, establishing the group as one of the most promising new acts in R&B. And later on in October of '96, 702 released their debut album, No Doubt. The project peaked at number 82 on the Billboard 200 and reached number 24 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 1997 on time.
The year of 1997. The world witnessed Michael Jordan deliver his heroic performance in the 1997 NBA Finals, which is widely known as the flu game. Behind lead actor Leonardo DiCaprio, the movie Titanic dominated theater box offices. And as for the ladies of R&B, they continue to dominate the decade. Erykah Badu introduces to a new wave of hip-hop influenced R&B through her album Baduism. Mariah Carey scored a hit with the remix to her song Honey, featuring Mason and Lox. And how can we forget about Puerto Rican songstress Veronica's club hit Someone to Hold, featuring Big Pun. But there was another singer coming from Bronx, New York, that was ready to make her mark with the hip-hop influenced R&B sound. Her name is Yvette Michele.
Crazy for you, Mr. DJ. I just wanna get to know your name.
Just tell us how your first single came about.
I hooked up with Flex. We went to high school together. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. We lived in the same neighborhood. I was working on a demo, trying to get songs from producers, struggling, in other words. And I ran into him when I had like one song done. And I said, listen, I'm trying to sing. He said, oh, I got a project. You sing? He said, I need an unsigned act. And I was like, well, here I am. I need a deal.
Right.
Every day, every night was done based on that. I recorded it in 4 hours. I wrote it the night after I saw him. He gave me the music, and that was just my first song, and it'll always be my best, my favorite to me.
Her song Every Day and Every Night quickly gained attention. It became especially popular in New York City, thanks to legendary DJ Funkmaster Flex. He selected the song to open his landmark project. Funkmaster Flex presents the mixtape Volume 1, 60 Minutes of Funk. The song climbed to number 60 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 23 on the Billboard R&B chart. The song also reached number 3 on the Billboard Dance Singles chart.
But we worked on mixtape Volume 2 because Volume 1 was a big success, and he wanted me to touch it. So I thought about what was going on, and I thought about the problems my sisters are having with these men out here, no offense. And I had to write it. I had to put it down. I'm Feeling You is a result of that.
No matter what you do, no matter what you say, I'm leaving anyway.
The song became a breakthrough hit, reaching number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 12 on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. Billboard even described the record as a fierce debut hit. The success of the song helped build anticipation for a debut album, My Dream, released on August 26, 1997. The album showcased her blend of soulful vocals and hip-hop influenced production. It reached number 46 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart. While Yvette Michele and Funkmaster Flex was making noise in New York City, there was a quartet from Houston, Texas that was ready to spawn one of the biggest music stars ever. Latavia, Kelly, LaToya, and Beyoncé. They are Destiny's Child.
And now I learned the meaning of your story. And there's enough love for me to stay. I wanna be where you are. Oh, anywhere you are. Oh.
Just last year, these girls were going to Houston high schools and performing around town. A record company scout caught one of those performances.
She saw us perform. She flew us up to Columbia Records, and we did a showcase for everybody at Columbia, and we got signed 2.5 weeks later.
The group's story began years earlier under the name Girls Time. Managed by Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles. And after years of talent shows, showcases, and industry auditions, Matthew Knowles helped the group secure a recording contract with Columbia Records in 1997. By then, the group had adopted the name Destiny's Child, inspired by a passage from the book of Isaiah. In October 1997, Destiny's Child released their breakout hit, No, 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 Part 2.
Boy, I know you want me, I can see it in your eyes. But you keep on fronting, won't you say what's on your mind? Cause each and every time you need me, you give me signs. I wanna ask you what's the deal, hold on inside.
The Wyclef Jean produced remix quickly became a breakout hit, climbing to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop chart. With the momentum building, the group released their self-titled debut album, Destiny's Child. In February 1998, the album peaked at number 67 on the Billboard 200 and number 14 on the top R&B Hip Hop albums chart.
The balloons are up 6, 5, 4, 3. Happy 1998.
As the ladies continued to dominate the decade, in 1998, we saw 2 of the biggest females in R&B Brandy and Monica released their Grammy Award-winning collaboration, The Boy Is Mine. Songstress Deborah Cox released a timeless classic, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here. Faith Evans released her dance floor classic, Love Like This. That was later remixed by the late Fat Man Scoop and still continues to dominate dance floors to this day. But in 1998, a new teenage star from Washington, D.C. emerged at a time when female R&B was dominated by artists like Brandy, Monica, and Aaliyah. Her name is Maya Harrison, simply known as Maya.
Please welcome Maya.
Ghetto superstar, that is what you are. Coming from afar, reaching for the stars. Run away with me to another place. We can rely on each other. From one corner to another.
How do you feel being here, BT? 25-year anniversary at awards.
Full circle moment for me because I got my start at BET in Washington, D.C. Teen Summit 1997.
Maya began her start performing at a young age with local dance groups throughout her childhood. Her talent eventually caught the attention of music executive Haq Islam and ultimately led her to a deal with Interscope Records. And on March 10th of 1998, Maya released her first official single, It's All About Me, featuring Cisco and Drew Hill.
Cook your dinner, wash your clothes, baby, hell no, that's not the way it goes. It's all about me tonight. Yeah, yeah.
The single became a major hit, reaching number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. The success of the song instantly established Maya as one of the brightest new stars in R&B. It gave her first top 10 hit. And with that momentum building, Maya released her self-titled debut album, Maya, on April 12, 1998. The album eventually climbed to number 29 on the Billboard 200 and earned platinum certification.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 1999.
As we entered into the last year of the 90s, the ladies still dominated R&B.
Got a couple other new things I think you're gonna like. First of all, we have a new fly girl coming all the way from Bronx, New York, Miss Jennifer Lopez.
Former Dancing with the Fly Girls for the TV show In Living Color was ready to enter the conversation. She is Puerto Rican songstress Jennifer Lopez, who made her debut May 4th, 1999 with the single If You Had My Love. Songstress Khalees entered the chat with her debut single, Caught Out There, written and produced by the up-and-coming duo The Neptunes. Lisa Lopez and TLC helped launch the career of the group Black in their infectious hit single, 808. We also saw the debut album of the late, great Angie Stone. And as the 90s came to a close, these women helped transform R&B forever. Some became mega superstars, others remained hidden gems. Their music still plays, their influence is still felt. Because the ladies of R&B didn't just define the 90s, they helped shape the future of R&B itself.